see if this works. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? What's up, random stuff? Orion. Random nature stuff. Sorry about that. Very nice. Merry Moon Day. I'd like to say hello to Orion, random nature stuff, and Time Pop Wonderful. Thank you for joining the stream. How are you today? Welcome to the Monday meetup. An opportunity just to hang out, have a discussion. Burn some sage. I'm doing okay. It's Monday. It's usually my day of doing whatever I kind of like. I go for walks. I make music. I make videos. I'll have my beer. I have my reflection and take time for myself, usually on Monday. It's been about 2 weeks since we did a live. A lot of things in life have happened for a lot of people over the last 2 weeks. So, yeah. Chance to catch up, if you will. May you be blessed. Stay blessed. Burning sage is good for a lot of stuff. You know, spiritually speaking, as well as just physically. The smoke helps like kill microbes or some shit, infections. Check in. How's everybody else doing today? Let me know. I suppose you couldn't let me know if the chat is frozen, but it's stuck on the last message by Time Pop Wonderful of how you doing. The phone is running from the sage, y'all. The phone is running from the sage. What does that tell you? A lot of negative energies out there, homie. Test. Thank you for the test. I do appreciate that. Chat seems to be still working. Thank you, Time Pop. Wonderful. Do appreciate that. Let me see where I'm going to put this. Back in the day when I had a laptop, this was an easier operation for streaming. But with the phone, it's obviously different. It's going to take some finesse. It's like I need one more layer. A nickel. That is a nickel. Thank you. Appreciate it. That seems a little high. How about that? No, that's a little low. Hey. Well, that's a bad sign. Check, check. How's that? Hit the sage. AI I started messing with, man, as soon as I heard about it. Probably, I'll go back to my videos and look at it, but almost 2 years probably, off and on. It's getting better and better. At the very beginning, it was kind of really toyish, but now it's getting really good. It's getting really good where you can make an album that sounds coherent, if that makes sense. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. You know, with the good and the bad, bro. Like, I love making music, so it's a tool for me. It's good. It really is good. And I don't know what's scary about it. What's scary about it? Gonna have a beer today, y'all. Feels, you know, it's a beer day. Like I said, I see it as a tool, and people are creating with it. What's scary about it making music? I don't think that's a horrible thing. It might be a way to lull its way into our lives, of course, for some other ideas, but my own philosophy is to try not to feed the future fear and future trip on things that could be bad. And if I'm going to trip on future things, I try to make it a positive deal. And obviously I fall short at that quite often in life. But it's something that I would like to be my mantra if you can. Good or bad. It's just like a computer. It's the program. It's the people using it. It's a tool. You want to get controversial? No, let's not go there. But it's a tool. You know, anybody can use anything for anything. Ain't nothing stopping you from using it and however you see fit, except for your own moral structure and code, you know? Just like anything else. Is it inherently a bad thing? No. Will it be used for nefarious reasons? Yes. Should that dictate the outcome for everybody? Nah. It's a small percentage of people, in my opinion, that make it bad for the rest of us. You know? Like I said, I'm having a beer today. If that throws you off, it's okay. I understand. Merry Moon Day to you and yours. Just like this beer, man. It could be a tool for good or bad. Just depends on who's using it. It could be an ingredient for disaster. Just depends on the mind state of the person doing it, you know? Does that mean nobody should get to do it? Nah. Not if you believe in freedom and liberty, like I do. very much. I think I lean, not to get political, but if there was a political stance, I'm a libertarian. Just leave me alone type of situation. I'll take care of myself. Leave me alone. I'm good. And that fits pretty much every situation that you could think of. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So I appreciate y'all checking in. Got any questions or anything like that? You want to talk about random stuff? Nature stuff? Sorry. Random nature stuff. Nature's great. I'm into that. I'd like to do some more hiking videos. I used to do that quite often. I think on my other channel I had my hiking stuff. Up at the like trips I took to Clear Creek, up near Camp Verde. And even to the trip on the mountain up here in town, Casa Grande. Surrounded by nature, but it's kind of hard to go to a place that's nice and enjoyable. Here you got to drive about an hour and a half, 2 hours at least to get to the Salt River. An hour and a half, 2 hours probably. Supposed to go there here in July. Go tubing. Haven't been tubing in 20 years. It's going to be an experience. Not like it used to be when we were youngsters. We'll see. Probably not going to take my phone for that. Last time I had a phone at the river and we went fishing with the phone, I lost it. Sorry to hear you couldn't sleep. I'm happy you could join me. And whoever else is here. 3:30 a.m. Creeping up on 10:30 here. 10:20, that clock is obviously wrong. I love the desert. Lots of places to go. Lots of places to get lost in. Lots of exploring possibilities out there. Not for everybody. You will find yourself in deep peril real quickly in the desert. Any time of the year. Any time of the year if you are underprepared. Tubing. So because we live in the desert, there's not a whole lot of water. There's one big river that kind of everybody congregates to, and they get big old inner tubes or whatever they can to float on. And they'll start at one point of the river and they'll float all the way down to another point. And I think the biggest stretch is about 3 to 4 hours of tubing, where basically you and your friends just get in. Usually you tie your tubes together or whatever contraptions you have that float. You bring your cooler, you bring whatever you can think of, boom boxes. You see so many crazy things at the river. It's worth documenting if you haven't seen it. It's worth showing. It's a good time. It's a spectacle. I don't know if it is anymore. It definitely was 20 years ago when I used to go. Hey, Ryan. Thanks for checking in. Now, for me, now that I'm older, it's just like I've been there and done that. And I remember the last sunburn I got the last time I went tubing and how long it took for me to recover because it was on the top of my feet. The one spot I didn't take care of was sunscreen or cover up the top of my foot. Couldn't wear socks, couldn't wear shoes for 4 or 5 days probably. I'm a white boy, obviously. I'm a dark one. The camera, I can't pick it up. Redneck. I burn and have been burning in the sun since 1985 when we moved to Arizona. No, tractor tires, no. Well, maybe that's where the inner tubes come from. I don't know. That would make sense, huh? Big old tubes, man. People take all sorts of stuff though. They bring their own stuff, and those usually don't work out too well. They bring their little fucking blow up rafts, and they end up popped within 10 minutes. Oh, hey, yeah. No, the sun will get you too. Yeah, No, I hear what you're saying, Time Pop. Yeah, yeah. I imagine that's probably where they originate from, if you will. Burned my legs once and they swelled up and couldn't. You got sun poisoning, bro. Yeah. If you swell up or you get blisters and shit, sun poisoning, you're basically getting burned alive. Been there. Some people are super susceptible to that. Like I've been cooking in this desert heat for, like I said, 40 years now. So it'll still get me. It'll get anybody for sure. But those who are faint, fair skinned or whatever, like my wife, when it's hot outside and the sun's blaring, nope. Even when it's not hot and the sun's blaring, it'll get you. It'll get you quick. It's intense too. It's been real intense for the last 10, 15 years. Like the sun has changed in like a brightness. It's like a super UV white spectrum now. It used to be orangish in my memories, you know. It is. It is. You could see it in the plants, dude. The plants that I've been trying to grow for the last even 5 years, like I can't put them in the direct sunlight. Even the cactuses are having a tough time. If they're not already rooted and well established and they're new, they're getting cooked. Just cooked. And these are native plants that should do well here, and they're just getting cooked. I got 3 or 4 outside that I look at every day. I'm like, damn, man, what? These should be doing well out here. But it's the sun, the intensity, the brightness. It's a different level now. It's a different level. In my opinion, it's not just the sun, which goes through cycles, apparently, scientifically speaking. I am not a scientist. This is not words from a professional or certified instructor, okay? I'm a certified conspiracy theorist. The sun does go through cycles, though. Apparently, like 11-year cycles or something of highs and lows. It's been going on a high for quite a while. But I think that's magnified by the fucking shit they'd be spraying and have been spraying in the sky. Chemtrails, weather modification tools, whatever they want to call it. Suspended aluminum baronite, or whatever else people call it. My opinion, it's amplified for a reason. So we can't grow our fucking crops like we used to. So the water may or may not be disappearing at faster levels than before. I don't know. That's just how I think about shit. Tomatoes, yeah, anything that bears fruit, good luck. Good luck. Well, even if you don't see them being sprayed, like, okay, it stays in the air, it disperses. And this is, again, a conspiracy theory. This is not the truth of any way. This is my opinion. Get mad if you want to. I don't care. I'm not the only one who talks about that. It disperses over large areas. So I believe that it probably, whether or not you see it happen, it's happening to you. It's a global fucking trend. If not, then I could be wrong. Maybe it just happens a lot here in the United States of America. Where did you say you were from again? No, you didn't. You didn't say where you're from, but you 3:30, so I'm assuming you're 5 hours ahead of. Wait, 3:30 a.m. Are you behind me or ahead of me? Either way, you're in a different time zone. Maybe they don't spray shit there, but it's probably ending up there. Australia. Okay. They don't spray in Australia. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I've never been there. They seem like from a perspective, as we saw how the COVID thing went down, bro. And I'm just, again, commenting from my own opinion. This is not fact. I don't know shit. I'm just giving my opinion. Fact check that. When the COVID shit went down, Australia seemed to step right into that fucking shut it down, lock it down, authoritarian fucking weirdness, bro. Am I wrong? Did that affect you in any way? You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. That's cool. Just curious. I looked at Australia a little bit different from afar, of course, over here in my privileged whiteness of the United States of America. Australia seemed to go pretty hard with that shit. Yeah. Saw a lot of stuff. Real or not, I don't know. They talked about camps. quarantine camps. In my opinion, that was just a warm up, bro. That was the test run. That was the dry run to see what they could get away with, to see how far they could take it. My opinion. Well, sorry if I missed you. Say hi. What's up, Eddie? Again, hey, random, time pop, Orion. Merry Monday. Or Tuesday for Australia, eh? Over there in Australia. Ahead of the times. He's from the future, bro. Talking to the past. I'm in the past. Or I'm that which has not happened. Yeah. I watched a lot of shit on YouTube, obviously, right? And I watched The Boys, and watched these videos where they were trying to do the filming. It was even after COVID or something like that. That it still took 2 weeks to get in. Like the whole process of people coming in, and they denied a lot of people getting there in the first place. Like there was a whole debacle trying to get to Australia for some. I'm sure the elites had no problem with their little private jets and shit. Does it feel kind of post-apocalyptic after COVID in a way? Like it will never be the same kind of shit? You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, they didn't want the funniest shit. They didn't want you to travel. They didn't want you to hang out. What's up, Benjamin? They didn't want you to assemble in each other's houses. People were, I don't want to use the word snitching. People were telling on other people for having too many people at their house. You don't understand? They were calling the authorities because there were too many people assembled at a house. In the United States of America, bruh. Bruh, land of the free and of the brave. Yeah. They had this shit locked down. Locked down. It's astounding. I did not comply. There were a few times where I actually would, like I had to go to the bank and shit to cash a check, and I wore a bandana. And I made a Facebook post about it because it felt so awesome that I walked into a bank with a bandana on my face, and I walked out with money, bro. Like fulfilling some kind of outlaw dream. That was a highlight for me. But I remember walking in the stores and people were like, "Oh, you're gonna have a mask," and either I was like, "Fuck you," and walked past them, or I just left, you know. And those little lines they painted on the in between the aisles for flow, like, "Oh, walk this way, walk that way, get the fuck out of here." Who the fuck stand 6 feet apart? Like, it's so absurd, bro. What a weird thing to live through. What a weird thing to live for. Hello, Jesus. Jesus. Smudging, yes. I am smudging. We're smudging today. Crazy thing to live through. I'm glad you all made it. I'm glad that you all survived, because a lot of people didn't. And I would not like to make light about that ever. Like, even though I laugh about the fucking overall things, the absurdities of life, the absurdities of human beings, it's not a laughing matter when someone dies, right? And that's, because once you lose that, yeah, then you lose your fucking humanity, I feel like. Then you start really being something else that we're not meant to be. So, like, some people's ways of grieving and dealing with death or making light of shit are different than others, and a lot of people don't have that flavor, they don't have that taste. And we gotta respect everybody for that, you know? So it's never a laughing matter about people dying. I don't joke about that. So, you know what I mean? I don't make light about that situation. Just the overall theater, in hindsight, is easy for me to laugh at because I have a twisted fucking sense of humor and perspective, and I analyze things a different way than some. Yeah, Body Temp. Remember they? I'm sorry to hear about your loss. Um, like I said, it's not that it didn't happen, and it's not a joke when people are lost. So I apologize if they came off cringy to you or offend you. I'm sorry for your loss. I mean, as offensive I might be to others, let me tell you, one of the most nicest, brightest people in my life, my wife, of course, laughs at what some people would consider the weirdest things. Like, they're just, some people are built different where they don't, in a good way, of course, and this is never ever taken away from her. The ability to laugh even at the darkest moments, somebody who can do that is really kind of mastering life, man. Like, I try to, it's a struggle for me to not react. But if you're reacting to the worst situations with laughter, aren't you fucking winning, bro? Like, fuck, that's what I would like. Just laugh at shit. Instead of the opposite, being angry. Because I spent a lot of time doing that, being angry and shit. That's fucking, you want to talk about disease or cancer? Anger, which is better than depression, okay? Because anger could be motivation. It's an action. It could be used as an action. But anger and depression will eat you up. If you can't turn depression, at least into anger, and you get stuck in depression, then yeah, you're done. It could end you of like a broken heart, as they say. It's happened. It's happened to me personally. My grandma and my aunt decided that they were done fighting to stay alive, and they gave up. And for me, that's a broken heart. And their will to survive, and they gave up. And they gave up to die. Literally stopped taking care of themselves and laid there for death. Real talk about my life. You can go ahead and record that and share it with whoever you want. Just saying, that's real talk. That's the truth. My aunt and my grandma were super special to me too. My family's very small. So I learned a lot about that, and I take a lot of what they went through with me. Sorry, let me tune back in the chat. Yeah, the prices never went down. Everything went up, stayed up, and continues to go higher. Oh, don't be sorry. It's okay. Thank you for listening. Give me a second. Street cleaners. Appreciate that, but you don't have to be sorry. When people decide to pass, that's some of the strongest shit, if not the strongest thing a living thing can do, is to decide to stop living, you know? And we'll break it down as a person who's thought about suicide, who's gone there to the degree of, you know, sitting there with the tools to do it and having all the motivation, all the reasons I thought at the time to do it, you know. I was scared. to do it. Scared. So, you know, those people who actually have the power over their life to decide when it's over. In a fucking weird way, I gotta respect it. That's their last call and their last act. You can call it defiance, or you can call it ownership. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know. Because like I said, I've been right there to the edge, but I didn't cross it, obviously. And I'm to the edge, I mean, like, you know what I mean? I didn't survive something, an attempt. I just didn't go that far, so. It's heavy. The life is heavy, man. Up and down, the waves. What are you gonna do with the wave? You gonna stay heavy? Because sometimes we're heavy, and there's times to be heavy. But if you stay fucking heavy, then you drown and shit. You know, sometimes you gotta be light. That's why I look up to those people who can find the humor in things a lot when the rest of us can't. So, appreciate the like. Appreciate you hanging out. Anything you guys want to talk about today? Kind of saging because I almost expected a certain energy to come across today of confrontation. I don't know why. Because I don't feel like I've created an energy of confrontation lately. Not to say I haven't in the past, because for sure, other versions of me, extremely confrontational, in your face, challenging, blah, 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 whatever. To my own ignorance, at a lot of times, of course. Maybe have a blessed day. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. Appreciate you. Anybody ever wants to join the Discord, there's a link somewhere, or maybe I'll add it to this video, post live, through edit, where anybody can come in and chat at any time. And my hopes for that is that if anybody ever needs the chat, somebody's gonna be around. You know what I mean? Good or bad. Good or bad. You have a blessed day. Again, Time Pop, wonderful. Take care of the future for us, eh? You haven't missed nothing. We're just talking, conversating. If you want me to fill you in, I was just sharing about my my grandma and my aunt who passed because they gave up and they didn't want to live anymore. And I was just saying that the power to, you know, decide that for yourself is extremely powerful. Oh, and I'm not done. You guys are here. You're responding. I shall continue. Anybody wants to talk about anything, feel free to bring it up. Open table discussion. Anything you want to share?
in my pulse, breaks in my head. I keep hearing you in my flood instead, like water rising up through the floor. If I let you in, you will ruin me more.
Have a blessed day. Thank you for coming. Appreciate your words, Catfish. Orion, feel free to elaborate. Feel free to share or say whatever you want here. Free speech. Judgment free. Well, at least from my end. I'm not going to judge.
Scream my name until it cracks. I bite the storm, I don't look back. Eyes in the static, my heart is a wreck, and I want it to splinter. I said so, like this wounds, metal black, circle the round, spell me shot, play the
Is it making people crazy or enhancing their already crazy fucking nature? Again, it's a tool, right? In my opinion, not right like you have to validate, but in my opinion, it's my opinion. Just like anything can make you crazy. This beer will make you crazy. Those thoughts will make you crazy. Interactions with people can make you crazy. The lack of interactions with people can make you crazy. I just don't think it's an excuse. You know what I mean? I don't think it's an excuse. This made me crazy. That, you know what I mean? We're all crazy. First of all, what the fuck is sane? Who determines what sane is? And if anybody does, it's probably like the government with some little weird list of things you got to meet, and I'm not with that. So we're all crazy, aren't we? Aren't we? Come on. I hope so. Not all of us, because that's not true. That's not true. There's a lot of, I want to say, by the measure of sane, a lot of compliant sheep. A lot of compliant worker bees are very sane because they don't question the reality, they don't get out of line, they don't speak out, they don't cause disturbances, therefore they're not crazy. To a certain degree. I'm crazy because I talk about crazy things. I'm crazy because I don't agree with the societal norm, because I don't lockstep in with a program that can deem me crazy, because I don't believe in what you believe, what everybody else believes makes me crazy. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Dude, you can't hide no more. There's gonna be ads everywhere. The TV's listening, the phone's listening, and they're all connected. You can't hide anymore. So just live openly and unashamedly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing. I feel like if you live honestly, or at least you present how you live honestly, and you're willing to do what you say, who has power over you? Even if they have power over you, they don't. They can't change you. They can't make you do anything. They could take a lot of shit away from us, but lock me in that cell. If it's worth being locked up for, I'm gonna still be talking shit. Guaranteed. Promise you. If it's worth standing up and giving my life for, I will do it. There's a lot of finite things you gotta discuss there, of course, because it's different for everybody. Different me, 18 years old, signed up for the military, not the same me now. You know what I mean? Like, okay. So, I don't sign up for the patriotism, I'll give my life for a fucking country type shit. I'm like, come and harass my family, or, try to put something upon me and my family that none of us want. then you might have to kill me, is all I'm saying, type shit. Over my dead body, that's what that means. You know what I mean? To that degree. Everybody has that line in the sand, right? I don't think everybody ever, not everybody, most people probably don't ever actually have to confront that line in the sand, you know? And I don't even think that's a finite situation. Even if you come to that fucking line, I'm gonna tell you why I don't feel this way. Because even though you come to that fucking line where you feel like it's fucking done and there's nothing else to live for, yeah, and you've all the parameters for why you should fucking not be alive have been set in your mind. It's not over, dude. It's not fucking over. You never know. You never know what 10 fucking minutes later could feel like, what a day later could feel like. If you decide, just like the people, like I said, my grandma and my aunt decided not to live and just gave up, reverse that fucking energy and decide to fucking live. Whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is, it gives you a fire. Because fire, like I said, fire is a lot like anger. That's an action. That's better than giving up. Giving up. Create a fire. That's alive. That's being alive. And I like to see fire as a way to purify. Because you can burn the old shit. And from the ashes create a new. Like Phoenix here in Arizona is named for the mythical creature that rose from the ashes, yeah? Or who, better yet, didn't just rise from the ashes, set itself on fire to rise again through the ashes. Everybody can do that, everybody. Not everybody wants to. Not everybody wants to. We gotta respect that shit. You gotta respect that. For somebody to give up on themselves and decide that they're done it's fuck. What can I say, man? You really can't do anything. You're powerless. You can say the nicest of things to people. You can promise the best of things to people. But in reality, the only thing that's going to stop them from feeling that way is themselves. Yeah. So, here's the thing about that reflection is that I feel like there's always a reason. There's always something worth living for. And I don't even want to say worth living for. Just there's always a reason to appreciate and to be grateful to be alive. Even at the worst of times, man. You know? And a lot of times, the thing that brings people back isn't spoken from outside of them by somebody else. It's got to come from inside. You know, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of miracle situations that happen. Somebody prayed or whatever and something intervened. But like for me, the realization has to come from within. You know. Sometimes people just don't want to live, bro. That's tough for me because, like I said, I've dealt with it, and it's an active concern for me with children who are super susceptible, apparently, from all this, you know, idea of just giving up. And how can you imagine being a child and not wanting to live. And I've been through some shit, and I've said a lot of shit in my life about fuck my life, I wish I was dead. But being a child, I just remember trying to survive, you know, and whatever I did to put shit that hurt me away, which led to a lot of problems later in life that I'm still dealing with. Healing, yeah. Can you imagine? Never, never, never. Anyways, I was rambling. Okay. Sometimes you can't can't trust the brain either, because it is what it is. You know what I like to say about that is that a lot of people call that the spirit or the energy or whatever that you are, as the actual who you are, besides your flesh vessel, which includes your brain, the meat structure, the bones, all that shit. Because you could separate the two, and that's what they talk about, the soul or ghost or the essence of a human being. So yeah, I really, you can, I definitely believe that, because I think a lot of the mental health issues is something going on in the brain, obviously, because it's not an outside response to actual things happening. It's something here. And I definitely know that through my own experiences and my very, very lows, your brain will fucking be your worst enemy. It will tell you the worst things about you, about the people that love you, about everything. And it's like weird. It's almost like it wants you to do something, right? Like your brain will lie to you, guaranteed. Guaranteed. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, they do. That's the choice. I've had this discussion with my wife a lot about life and death, and the way she's sees it and is explaining it is it's a choice. When you see that animal who got ran over by crossing the street, they already knew what was going to happen or the outcome or whatever, but it was a choice. That's why they did it. And I kind of believe that, because I think as this human experience, really, we might be choosing to be here to experience life as a human, right? So we've made the choice to be here. Maybe you can make the choices of how you're going to be here, you know? Oh no, for sure. And it has, and sometimes it does. Like, believe me, I've wrestled with the brain, but I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't. And I didn't for a long time either. Like, for real, when you start giving into that brain voice that's saying the worst of things, the ugliest of shit, and you start believing it, and then you start repeating it out loud, and you're walking in circles, fucking, fuck my life, fuck this person. Yeah, no, that's a hard spiral to escape from. Because you'll just go lower and lower. Like, so fast. So fast. We watched it happen. We've seen it happen with other people. And we watched it fucking happen on YouTube with somebody who got stuck in that fucking spiral, in that crazy thought pattern and process, low vibration. It'll get you. It gets a lot of people. You know what's it's easy for people through their lenses of what they want life to be like to judge and opinionate on what others are doing from afar. We don't know. But some people just fucking know. They just fucking know because they lived through it and they've seen it happen, and it's a pattern that can be analyzed and most of the time avoided. It's almost a fucking science, if you will. Like, you know, if it's scientific, can you prove it by doing it over and over again and that's the result? Yeah, dude. A lot of times you can. Because you recognize it, you see it. You recognize and you see it because you feel it. You know what I mean? You feel it because it's a part of you. You know? I'm not preaching. I'm just sharing. So yeah. We've gone pretty much an hour without being specific and saying anybody's fucking name besides the people here on chat. And if you don't think that I respect the fucking situation, then you're wrong. And I welcome your comments, and this is for the people who are talking shit and saying incredibly ignorant shit. Feel free to do so. I might address you or I may not, but you're free to do so. You really think my intent was to be ugly? That's what you were looking for, and that's what you expect. You don't have to like anything anybody else does. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty big on respect. Anyways. I don't worry about viewers hanging out. I don't care about subscribers. It's nice, you know. Been on YouTube for 15 years or something. It's cool. Hopefully a lot of people check out my music or the shit that I used to do. You know what I mean? That I continue to do and will do. Don't make it about this fucking moment that how you feel it was, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Not everybody can speak up, and that's cool. There's a lot of sheep, there's a lot of followers, and they get heard by whoever they choose to herd them. And I don't want to herd anybody. I'm just me, sharing me. At the description of my channel, it says my journey, right, across multiple realities. I didn't say your reality, fool. I said multiple realities, right? So I would like to think of myself as an artist. I like to create. I don't like to say I'm an artist because, you know, that's up for everybody else to decide, I guess. How I feel about that. I think what you're doing is pretty cool. I've seen some of your stuff, Orion. It's very artistic. Very cool. You continue to do what you want. And I think part of doing art, right? And that, maybe this is where, and we gotta, okay, now try not to mix two things in my brain sometimes because I do it a lot. Ego gets involved with art. When the ego gets involved with art, when you're just feeding yourself to feel good about what you're creating, right? That becomes a problem. From my own experience, when I was like, and I still am sometimes very, I'm like, how come nobody likes my stuff? How come nobody listens to my music? Or how come nobody felt what I was saying there? And it's like, that's my ego. If we're just doing art, we're just creating and letting it go. And whoever takes it, for however they take it, cool. Yeah, no, and we never, hey, the end result, that's why we move on to one thing to the next. I'm always moving on. We don't sit around and wait for validation or the applause. Next. Because if we waited for validation or like commentary or fucking, you know, criticism, then we probably wouldn't create anymore. No, when you are creating just for the sake of creating, you don't wait for a reaction because you're tuned in, and it's the inspiration. At least for me, right? Like, I only make music when I feel inspired. I don't force it because I just can't. Yeah. If you're not creating from fun, and hey, you can create from wherever you want, space you want to create from. It's good to create from wherever you're creating from. Create from anger, whatever. But yeah, have fun. Because it's a release. And the expression should be release, yeah? Perhaps. Enjoy that and let it go. And then don't dwell on it, but move on to the next thing, you know? Could you imagine waiting for their approval every time you know, you put something out there and you're like, oh, I wonder how they're going to feel about that. Nah. Salud. I do catch myself feeling bad about it though, like my expectations sometimes gets at me. Yep. Gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Like I said, I wait for inspiration. Like, even if the idea of creating comes across my mind, nowadays I examine it. Do I have the do I really have the motivation to do something with it though? Like, I always think of shit. Like, my brain is always bang bang, idea. What about? And I've learned, hopefully I'm learning how to tailor that down a little bit and not just spew everything out. Because then it doesn't get finished and it's not as good as it could be, I guess. Especially if you force it. As much shitty music, if you want to call it my shitty music, which is fine, I put out, think about all the stuff that I didn't put out. Like, Oh yeah, yeah, right. Commission, as in like somebody's like, here, do this. I want you to do this, right? Like paint this or interpret this. It's hard to sit still with somebody else's idea and to formulate something. It's hard enough for me to sit still with my own ideas long enough. Still, I realize that more and more the older I get. Like I'm pretty driftless in the fact of like just settling on something. It'll come eventually, or it won't. I don't know. But if I push it, then yeah, it feels forced. It takes too much. You can't attract something by pushing it away. And it's like chasing money. You're not gonna why chase it? You gotta wait for it to come to you. See myself in the camera every now and then, I'm like, what is that? Not a big fan of my teeth. I'm a smoker, I drink coffee. They're kind of stained. So I'm always like self-conscious. I'm one of the most, maybe not with the most, but I deal with insecurities. Crazy insecurities. Body dysmorphia sometimes. I've dealt with all sorts of nuts. Shit. And I'm doing okay. I've never been, I've never experienced that, but I can relate to possibly, like my wife was trying to do a spiritual healing thing where she was trying to teach the tools, right, to heal yourself. She didn't want to be like a lifelong, like a coach, lifelong coach or whatever. She wanted to show you how to do it for yourself. So she dealt with a lot of people who just couldn't get over certain things. So it was always like a repeat, repeat. And I feel like that was like a demand from her, even though it was on them. In a lot of ways, that energy is like, well, you're demanding something from me that I couldn't possibly give you because it's in you. And nobody can give it to you but you. Not bad, they're just stained. They look pretty gross. I don't even want to do that anymore. I've had some pulled out, wisdom teeth and other things, a couple cavities. I smoke a lot. Like I'm kind of whatever with it. I brush my teeth every day. I take care of my health. I have to. Otherwise, it almost killed me. Roughly 10 years ago, I had like a real bad infection in my tooth, and like it got to the point where it was like I felt it in my heart, and I knew I had to get it just yanked out. I don't judge nobody, but I've always been weird about even when I was a kid, when my teeth were like white and pearly and perfect. I just never was always weird about showing my teeth. I don't know. I've never quite understood that one. This is a part of me that I have not healed yet. So I don't smile a lot. And people are like, you don't smile. That's my smile. I'm not showing teeth because I've never felt comfortable showing my teeth. Now you might catch them if I'm raging or something. Not that I'm gonna bite you or anything, but just never felt comfortable. Even when they're white and pearly. That's 30 years of smoking, coffee, all whatever you can think of, beer. Nice. Garlic, very good. Empty stomach, raw garlic. You ever done that? That'll get you going. I'm trying to get more into that. Like as much as damage that I've taken in over my life, as far as like the free radicals and of course the toxins I choose to put in my body, beer and drugs and cigarettes. I've tried to. I'd still look into ways where I can put good things into my body. Garlic's a good one. Onions, peppers. Yeah, I'm probably gonna walk away for about 1 minute, go to the bathroom. Appreciate y'all hanging out. Can I play something? No. No. You're back.
Like for the ultras? Say hi to Bellboy. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
Sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine.
You know what that shit is? It's the fucking journey, bro. The wheel of life. The circle. People call it the Vikings compass and shit. I can't quite pronounce it, so I'm not gonna butcher it. And I own the rights to wearing it, so I can verify my lineage. Where I came from. Anybody wants to see it, I could show you motherfucking screenshots of who I is. Whatever. Anyways. That's the crow. My homie. My spirit animal. I tattooed this 2020. No. 21, 22. 4 or 5 years ago. Did that shit myself. Did the triangles, elements, ether, fire, water, earth. Myself.
When was going on crazy?
Street dog barking.
Human lights in the helicopter.
Or a UFO. Aliens.
Shut up, Dad.
Showing off some of the sigils.
Why isn't it working?
Looks like the whole neighborhood's lost power.
Is chat dead? Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? Smell if you can move. Is it cigarette time? It might be. You good? Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Damn smokers. Who let the dog out? I did. And I forgot my lighter. Bullet, stay right there. Alright, well. I feel like maybe the blowing stuff off the screen, the conversation might be tapering out. You know what I was using for a while? Cloves. You straight up get a clove or two, crush it slightly, tuck it in there. Yeah. And it'll numb you, and it's like antibacterial, antimicrobic, whatever. It helps with infections. If you drink clove water, even better. Give it an extra boost. I believe in that shit. Yeah. You don't know the clove oil? Super concentrated. Super concentrated. But if you buy like the spice, go to your spice section and buy them cloves, the dried out cloves, that'll work. If you don't like that, like crushing them and keeping them in your mouth, steep them. Steep it in water, let it sit, drink that shit in the morning, boom. I need to get more cloves. It's a good routine. That and the garlic, you know what I mean? You get that garlic, honey, clove mixture going on. Winning. Vinegar, add some vinegar to it. Yeah, I've been off of that a while. Get back into that shit. It's always good to take care of yourself in such a manner. Naturally speaking, herbs and pills, the right pills, right? Nose can't get really. No, it sounds horrible. It doesn't taste great either, but it's good for you. Especially if you put the honey in there. Raw. The real honey. Zing. Dash of cayenne. Bing. Some ginger. Bing. Vinegar. Lemon. Oh my goodness. That's a good tonic for the morning. Take a shot of that before you take a shot of anything, bro. And you're good. I do shit like that. I like shots of vinegar. Straight to the system. Ooh. Alright, well, I do appreciate everybody hanging out. Still having a good conversation with Ryan. And if anybody wants to continue the conversation, feel free to join the Discord. We can text or voice talk whenever. You don't have to wait to go live. You can just join the Discord and conversate there. Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. I think I should end the live here because, like, part of my motivation almost was to come up on here and address some shit put out there by people, and I feel good about not directly addressing some shit. I feel good about the conversation that was had, and the few people who joined in. Thank you, Jesus, or Jesus, however you pronounce that. Thank you for your part. Thank you, Orion. Thank you, nature, random nature stuff. Time Pop Traveler, or whatever it was, Wonder Pop. You know what I'm talking about. I appreciate all you guys. Join me in the Discord. Text anytime you want to send me a message. You can hit me up there. We can have voice chats if you want to. Whatever, man. Doesn't end here. Appreciate you all. Have a Merry Moon Day. Stay blessed and blessed be. Thank you.